Hey everyone, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to Live Question and Answer on December 13th, 2016. Now, there seems to be a decent chance that I will be interrupted in the middle of this Q&A. And the reason for that is that December 13th is my wife's... Hey everyone, I'm Tom Vasel. I guess I should turn that sound off. It is my wife's birthday today, so I've ordered her something. Hey everyone, I'm Tom Vasel. I guess I should go turn that one off too. Too many computers in this room. But anyhow, I'm expecting a package for her that I will need to help bring in, and it's supposed to be delivered by 4 o'clock. From 8 to 4 was the window. Well, we're down to 3 to 4, the last hour. So if they're on time, and this is South Florida, so they might not be, it will come in the middle of this, for which I apologize in advance. Okay, so either way, the whole purpose of us doing these is so that I can answer questions. I just got back yesterday from the Dice Tower Cruise, and while I'm normally very exhausted after a convention, I am not exhausted today. I'm just glad to be here. I got a lot of reviews and things done already. We got Board Game Breakfast up today, and Chaz had a video go up. Our live show that we did at the cruise should go up at some point today. I know if you're like a listener to Dice Tower Audio, you might have noticed it hasn't gone up yet. That's because there was some technical problems. The video itself doesn't look that great because we just didn't have good lighting. Although the venue was amazing, just lighting for video was not so good. But the audio came out okay, and I'm going to post the video and audio pretty much simultaneously. Hopefully when I'm done with the Q&A, but it might be a little longer than that. Might not even be till tonight. So, I'm going to start actually from where the questions are now. So if you've already asked a question, re-ask them, and I'm going to start doing those. The packaging gift from my wife, I don't know. That's kind of like my own life, I think, to some degree. So we're going to keep that my thing and her thing, but it's a package that I need to help bring in the house at least. I have the kids all ready to go. Hopefully she's not watching this top 10. Let's see. Any insight on the expansion for Sheriff of Nottingham? Release date? What's in it? Well, it's going to add another player. I don't think Sheriff should be played with 6 players, but it's going to add another player because some people want that. And if not, you can switch around and play with different, different characters, I suppose. And then it's going to add some modules that you'll be able to go in. I actually don't know on the release date. I do know it's on schedule. I want to say it was Q1 2017, but I'm not sure. I'd have to check back with Arcane Wonders. I've been working with them a lot on some other upcoming games that they have coming out. Could you do top 10 character development games? Can you give me an example of what you mean by character development? Looking for a true tower defense game? I don't know what you mean by that. Carnival Zombie feels like it's very tower defense. Castle Panic, all those feel like tower defense style games. Even Project Elite feels a little bit like a tower defense style game, kind of, sort of. Happy birthday to your wife. I hope you didn't get her the new Cosmic Encounter expansion. Is that out? Oh my, that would blow my mind if that was out right now. I'm going to Cool Stuff right now to see. You think that they would have told me if it came out. All right, you got me all pumped. I don't see that. It's not out. No lies. I would not get my wife a board game. I think that would be in poor taste. What do you know about L'Auto Palette? What's your favorite from them so far? They made a lot of good games. That's a good question. Let me look them up. While I'm looking them up, if somebody can tell me how to pronounce them. I looked it up because I was talking about them in the news this morning, and I couldn't find anywhere on the internet that said how to pronounce their name, and I know I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. It's a Nordic publisher. But let me see. They did Mule the board game, man. Nations the dice game. I really like that one. Eclipse was good. Dokmas is really good. Their new racing game is apparently pretty good. Honshu is good. Probably Eclipse is their most famous game, but I'm going to say of all the ones that they've done, probably Nations the dice game thus far. All right. Will promos still be bundled with Dice Tower fundraiser as in previous years, or will they be listed individually? They can still be bundled, and there's a variety of reasons for that, but it's mostly for logistical purposes. However, you will now be able to, with the Indiegogo campaign, you will be able to say, I want to get promo pack A, do it, and then if you say, hey, well, I also wanted to play a game with Sam at Gen Con, you can go do that too, and you can say, oh, I want another promo pack A. You can go in and do 2 promo pack A's. You know, you can do what you want in this one. You like La Havre, Caverna, and Feast for Odin. What's your thoughts on Fields of Arle? I don't hear much about it. Well, Fields of Arle is a 2-player only game. I like Fields of Arle. I think I would put it... Here's the deal. I think I like Fields of Arle a lot, but Feast for Odin is like everything I like from Fields of Arle plus a little bit more, and it can go multiplayer. So even though I'll play Caverna with 4 or 5 easy, La Havre is strictly 2 or 3. Feast for Odin... probably 2 or 3 also for Feast for Odin. So I guess, you know, it's weird that Fields of Arle is only 2 though, so I can't play 3 with that. So I guess that would make it a little bit lower than the rest. Who is the best Ninja Turtle? You know, I actually don't like the Ninja Turtles that much. I don't dislike them. I mean, I'll watch a show, but I don't like, when I see the Turtles, I'm like, those guys are so annoying. I like Splinter. How's that? Did anyone go overboard? I think you would have heard about that. That would probably make the news or something. Will you accept a challenge for a rematch in Le Havre next year on a cruise? I'm going to practice this year and learn not to take loans. Yes, but you, Nicholas, you had a very good attitude as you spiraled into debt. And then I'm going to. In Le Havre is such a game that if you know what you're doing, I mean, I really even try to do some things I don't normally do in it, but there's a lot going on in Le Havre, and it's a simple game, only a few simple rules, but I would never expect to win your first game. So I expect when you come back, you'll beat me. The only reason I had any kind of advantage is because you had not played before. Did we go on any excursions off the ship? No, we didn't. We just went off to walk around, and then I saw some horse-drawn carriages, found that the price for those, thought it was not too bad. Certainly was cheaper than the excursions from the ship. So we took those around the island, me and my whole family. The kids loved it. My wife really liked it. We got to see a really old church and a few other sights and things. And it was just fun to ride a horse and buggy. You mentioned in the past that a reworking of Mutiny on a Little Blue was coming. What game was that? Well, actually, it was Mutiny on a Little Blue. They're just making a second edition of it. It is in developmental purgatory right now, as far as I know. What did you like? What did you think of Study of an Emerald second edition? Z seemed like it better than the first. I did not play it. Z played it, but I have not. I have winter downtime. Do you do any seasonal hiring? I am not able to afford anyone else at this point in time. When do you think another print run of Terraforming Mars will be conducted? As far as I know, it should be back around February. That's what I heard last. Rob did a great job with his Take Over the Dice Hour when you guys were on the cruise. Yes, he did. Rob is a great guy, and we're really glad he's involved with us. Such a nice guy, too. Would you consider to do a monthly live play where viewers decide via poll what game is played? Wow, I already hate doing the live plays itself. Letting people pick the games that we play seems even worse. I don't know. Maybe I'll make it a stretch goal in the fundraiser for live plays, right? I'll say if we reach this amount, we will do live plays consistently. And then if people really want them, we'll reach that stretch goal. And if we don't, then I don't have to worry about it. That's what I'm thinking about. Do you believe that games that are recommended 2 to 4 or 2 to 5 players are generally better suited for the higher player count than they do at the minimum, like Great Western Trail or Concordia? There is no fast and hard rule there. Some do better. Most do better in the middle, honestly. There are some of these games that play better at 2, but very rarely is maximum player count the best. There are some, certainly, where maximum player count is the best. But if I get a Euro game, especially a heavy Euro game, and it's like something to 5, I automatically will not play with 5 on the first play. No way, because it's probably too long. What was that Codex for Duel of Ages 2 on your shelf? How can you add it? I don't know. The publisher sent it to me. It's kind of like if you went to their website, maybe they have it. But it was just like it has the main rule book for the game, and then it also has like just different strategy tips on how to use all the different people inside it. Have I not talked about that on the show? I thought I did like an overview of that. Maybe I should. Going to play Star Wars Risk with 4 players. Have you done so and did it work well? I would not play it with 4 players. To me, it's a 2-player game. When you say it's 4 players, you're just essentially taking half of a player's spot. How often do you film the components, meeples, and the milk bowl opening for board game breakfast? Nowadays, when I feel like it, I used to do it every week, but it was getting very time consuming. That part takes a bit more time than you might think. And so I just started doing one. And so when you see one, it's like, whenever I feel like there's a seasonal change in a dice tower, you'll see a new one, I think. It's about time for me to do another one, I think. So soon, probably. Time Story is such a great game, but do you think they need to take steps to come out with more modules more often? It seems like it's taking them way too long in between scenarios. Well, I know that the scenarios that are coming out now, they got hung up on art. There's a lot of art, great art in these games, and that's what kind of slowed that down. I would imagine that they've also they got a lot of feedback on those first 4 modules. Those first 4 modules were done when they made the game, so now they're making more and things. So I would imagine you'll see them start coming out on a more regular basis unless the game does not sell very well. Who's your favorite Avenger from the movies? Oh, easily Captain America. Although I really do like Ant-Man and Spider-Man now from Captain America 3. I really like all of them. And I think that's one of the things that I'm a fan of. There are some shows that I've watched or things where I'm like, man, I don't like half the characters. I just don't like them. A good example for me would be the TV show Bones. I know a lot of people like Bones. But I just found all the characters very unlikable. Almost all of them. A few of them were likable, but almost all the characters were just unlikable to me. Just me. Maybe you like them. But for that, I didn't like the show. Or there's some shows where I like 1 or 2 characters and I don't like the rest. Game of Thrones. But like with the Avengers, I like them all. So it makes it very enjoyable when you like all the characters. Well, Tony Stark is kind of a jerk, but still. I'm relatively new to board gaming and have to ask an embarrassing question. What are promos? That's not embarrassing. Hey, if you're new, you're new. Promo is usually a board game. They come complete. Sometimes there's an expansion that's like extra stuff, like a whole box. Think of a promo as like a 1 card or maybe a few cards. It's like a mini expansion for a game. And usually it promotes something. Like sometimes ours have like a little dice tower. Somehow the dice tower is involved with the card. Maybe there's a picture of one of the dice tower people on it, or there's a dice tower in a card. Sometimes I've been in games. I'm trying to cut back on that dramatically. But sometimes no. Sometimes they're just a card. Sometimes the company sells them, at conventions. It's like a teaser, like here's a little piece of it. So they're called promos. Due to extenuating circumstances, my family will have 3 more children and 1 adult entering the home. Any advice for handling a house of 6 kids? That's a totally different situation than I have, because with me, 1 kid came at a time, and so we only had to work with 1 new entry to the house, if that makes sense. But with 3 coming in, that's an interesting thing. It actually sounds like the Brady Bunch, doesn't it? Here's the story. Just do your best to all get along. Oh. A lot of play is finished, and it means board game, but I still don't know how to say it. Any regrets in City of Gears not being in Dice Tower Essentials? Oh, sure, I wish it could happen. But for Dice Tower Essentials to work, it has to be something that I really want and something that Arcane Wonders wants to publish. So the me wanting to do it part was there, but Arcane Wonders decided to pass on it, and that is their decision to make. So it is, I'm not going to sit around regretting things. There's so many, life is a bunch of series of regrets if you want it to be. Could you make it easier for a single player to share a room on next year's cruise? I'm not sure how that works, actually. I'm sure that you can find, maybe we'll make a thread somewhere where you can say, hey, I want a room, and I'll share it with somebody, and then you can share it. I think that would be the best place to do it. I don't know. Um, let's see. I have not played the expansion Unusual Suspects. My apologies. What's the next game for Dice Tower Essentials on the horizon? The next game being released, it's probably not. It's probably the Sheriff of Nottingham expansion, actually, but might be Critical Mass or whatever we're calling it. I can never remember the name of that game, the robot fighting game. Why? I am so bad at that name. I should have it like tattooed on my hand. That one's coming out in the summer. Those are the next two. There's a few more. I really need to like sit down and go over like the list of when everything's going out so that I can make better announcements about them. For minor league and tournament organizers, what's a good prize to give for first place that's on a really low budget? If I were you, I would try to get the store to give some credit. Wherever store you're holding the tournament. If you're not holding the tournament at a store and you're doing it yourself, then get an online store. Maybe they're willing to back you up on it. And if not, I would charge a dollar fee to everybody and then use that money to buy something. Or maybe just a nice little trophy, something that people appreciate. People like getting something for their victory, but I always tend to not make it too awesome of a thing, because if you do, then people fight too much for it. If you're playing a tournament of a specific game, I might consider contacting that company and saying, hey, we're doing a tournament of your game. Would you be interested in dropping a game for that as the winner for the prize? Did I play Insider on the cruise? Like 15 times, probably. It was my most played game on the cruise, easily. Did you enjoy the peanut butter cookies? Yes. And would you want another batch next cruise? Yes. Will the promos from the fundraiser be available at Essen? I'd much rather support you there if possible. They may be there. They may not be there. I cannot make promises. Obviously, the big name promos will not be there, like the ones that we have the smallest amounts of. And I appreciate you wanting to support us at Essen, but it's really helpful if people support us in January, because I have to make a budget for the year and I have to pay my guys over the course of the year. So it's really helpful if we have the money in January so that we can focus on not worrying about raising money for the rest of the year. I have not yet played Pandemic Iberia, so I don't know how good the game is. Best non-buffet meal on the cruise was the very first night we went to the restaurant and they had some horseradish something encrusted salmon, and it was so good that I got it twice. That was easily my favorite meal. There was a lot of really good meals. And in fact, I only went to the buffet a few times. For the most part, I actually went to the restaurants. Are we going to still record the Time Stories playthrough through the new modules? It seems possible that we will do that. Is the top 10 games for two the same as games for couples? Well, I mean, I'm always hesitant to say like these are games for couples, because let's say I'm a couple with my wife, right? I'm married to my wife. What is the difference between me and her playing and me and Sam playing a game? And you say, well, Sam's a gamer and your wife is not. Well, that's fine. So we made top 2 casual games. We made a top 2 strategy game things. I hesitate to label that for couples, because you both might be like super gamers or you both might be casual. It all depends on who you are as a couple. How much of Star Wars Destiny have you gotten so far? I have only gotten the starter packs and a few boosters that Fantasy Flight sent me. I haven't got any more. I know it came out and it was sold out instantly. I was thinking about getting some more. Then I found out that Jason's getting all of it, and I am actually liking it less each time I play it. That might change. I'd like to play it some more with the full things. I like to build my own deck, right? Because I played it at BGG with like one of Fantasy Flight's super decks. I don't want to play with their super deck. I want to play the deck that I built, because I think that would be fun for me. But I need to wait till we get it. Jason was going to buy it, but he didn't want pre-order it, so we have to wait till it comes back in stock. Did you get dizzy on the boat? I did. I haven't before, but this time I did. But my wife bought these like wristband things, And even though I called them poppycock and placebo effect, I put them on and I felt much better. Are you giving out any board games for gifts this year? I am. To some of my friends, I'll be giving out copies of Speechless and Royals. I have them from Dice Tower Essentials. I think they're great games. And so it depends. Are you kind of a gamer? You're getting Royals. If you're kind of a casual person, you'll be getting Speechless. So. Would you ever do serious reviews for classic games, Monopoly and Scrabble, etc.? I know I've done one for Monopoly. I'm pretty sure I have. I'll have to go back and check, but I feel like I did one for Monopoly. I would do them maybe. Right now we have so many new games to do, it's hard to go back and do classic games. Like I'm looking in my closet right now and I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38 games that need to be reviewed. And over here I can see 4 more. So that's 42 games that need to be reviewed. And then there's another 250, 300 downstairs. So yeah, I might go back and do the classics. We'll see. Did non-gamers check out your gaming area? I feel like some non-gamers had came in and stuff. I don't know. I saw some people look in and were curious about it. I know that one person told me that a kid came up to Eric Summer and asked him to sign a card or something. And then another lady sitting there was like, is he a celebrity? Yes, in that instance. There were several families on the cruise, but there was not a ton of families. I think Jason said there was 30 kids total, and considering that 7 of them were mine, so it's not a huge amount. It is during the school year. But yeah, I played a game with a couple of the kids at least. There was... I don't know that there were kids games played. It was kids playing with their parents and then maybe some other folks. I don't know if any like kids games got played, but certainly family games were played. If Rob lived closer, do you reckon you'd be lifting bros? Oh no, because I go to Rob's conventions and I don't go lift with them there. Will you do a video soon of your top anticipated games for 2017? I don't normally like doing those kind of videos. Do people want those? Tell me in the comments here. So, yeah, so would you like to see anticipated games for 2017? Yes or no? What made me switch from Kickstarter to Indiegogo? There's a lot of reasons. For one, Indiegogo recognizes that the Dice Tower exists. Kickstarter does not. Indiegogo offers us much better deal overall. I can't go into all the specifics, but the thing I like the best is that people will be able to go through it multiple times. And you can use PayPal. And so you go through, you say, I want this, boom, 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 you check out, and you come in and you do it again. And I get your address and everything right up front, and so we should be able to turn things around a little bit quicker. Don't hold me to that, but I hope so. A weekly mailing list that lists videos released for the week, scheduled live events, etc. I never thought of that. Would people want such a thing? That sounds like something else I'd have to ask, but I already asked people to say yes or no to the other things, so I don't want to get those mixed up. But that's interesting. I don't know if people would want a mailing list or not. We do Week in Review, which is kind of like these are all the videos we did over the past week. Would your disdain remain the same for live plays if you had a dedicated studio? Oh, I would. That would be really nice. A dedicated studio is certainly something I like to get. It's just the reaction to them. No, granted, a lot of the reaction is I usually read the Reddit threads, and maybe I shouldn't be reading those. I don't know. See, the thing with live plays is it's so tough. Everyone makes rules mistakes when they play games. Well, not everyone, but lots of people do. When you play a live thing and then people are like, I thought you knew how to play this game. I thought it was one of your favorite games. And I can't believe you'd have made that poor decision move, etc. So, I don't know. We'll see. On your last Q&A, you banned a couple users. Can they just come back to today's Q&A? I'm pretty sure when you ban somebody, they're gone from the channel unless I go in there and actually bring them back. I don't ban people lightly, but they're spammers, so it's no big deal. Could you please put Castle upside down again? Is it right side up? Oops, it's on this side. There, how's that? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? No. It takes place at Christmas, but that doesn't make it a Christmas movie. Although it could be. I don't know. I don't care. If I said Elvis, LA, and Hollywood, would you think USA? Yes, I would. Have I ever rejected a submitted video because it doesn't fit the Dice Tower brand? I have done that, yes. Would you consider doing a Dice Tower cruise in Europe? No. This probably needs to go in the FAQ. I'm not planning on running any conventions or cruises outside of a 5-hour radius from my house. Why? Because to do these things properly, I need to be able to go and check it out. If I'm going to run a cruise, I drove there twice to walk the cruise ship, to go through and say, this is what we want, this is the things I like to have, etc., etc. That's a really big deal that I'm able to do that and go look at these things. And if that's the case, I can't do that far away. It's hard to control things far away. I'm sure I could find other dedicated people who'd be willing to do it. But for now, I want to be hands-on on these different things. Do you know when the next Arena of the Planeswalkers expansion will come out? Pfft, who cares? I've given up on that game. I was excited about it. Do I still have it? No. Yeah, it's out of my collection now. I gave up on it. They released 2 expansions over the course of like a year and a half. That's insanity. That game, and even with those 2 expansions being released, you still had to work. You had like 2 choices when you build an army or deck. It boggles my mind. It's like they deliberately ignored it's a Magic board game. Magic players don't play with starter decks. They take the starter decks and then they add cards to them and mix them around. Why would you not provide that same opportunity in a board game? I am still mind-boggled how they put that game out. They released the game with no expansions and no way to buy multiple sets to mix this stuff together. They finally released an expansion over 6 months later. 1 small expansion added some stuff, and then they released another standalone expansion that added more stuff, although in true typical fashion that they do, this one was smaller than the first one. And that's it. Now, maybe they've announced something else, and maybe something else will come out right before Christmas, but I'm telling you, they are shooting themselves in the foot. They might keep publishing sets, and I'll probably keep reviewing them, I guess. But I'm not that interested in it anymore. I liked it. It's fun. It really is. But it's one of those games that's fun. It needs me to be able to go in there and deck build. Without that, I got HeroScape, man. Will you be seeing Rogue One this weekend? Yes. I don't care how I see it. I might go see it multiple times. Who will I see it with? I've not decided yet, but I'm definitely going to see it. Tom, I unfortunately missed the Town Hall Live. It was in the middle of the night here in Norway. Is it possible to send you an email with some feedback? I'll be doing another Town Hall in a week, I think. I think next week I have another one scheduled. I have to look at my... Well, actually, I can tell you guys. Let me pull that up here. I'm telling you, these guys are not going to show up before 4 o'clock. It's 3:30 already. You know, it really annoys me when they give you this window of 8 to 4, like be home during that time frame. Then they don't show up during that time frame. Then why did you give me the time frame? I want some money back. Let's see. Dice Tower checklists. I forgot I'm looking for, oh, that's right, Town Hall. Well, let's see. Today is the 13th. Hey, tomorrow, Sam and Z are going to do a live Q&A, so keep an eye out for that. Come join us for that. And next week, live Q&A. I don't have a Town Hall scheduled for next week. When did I schedule it? Maybe it was the 26th. Yeah, for noon on the 26th. I might do a noon one next week. It's either going to be next week or the 26th on a Monday. So that way you can make it if you're in Europe. All right. Top 3 Marvel movies. Guardians of the Galaxy. Original Avengers. And Captain America 2. Although I really did like Captain America 3. Definitely Guardians of the Galaxy is first. Really like Captain America 1, though. but those are great. Okay. Favorite Mario Kart racing course? Oh, I have one. I don't remember all their names. I don't even remember what it is. I know that on the Wii U, I liked pretty much all of them. All right. Is there an instance where you felt a promo was essential? The Romeo and Juliet game from Crash Games that had a little poison thing. I thought that was essential for the game. Let's see. What's the next top 10 video that was coming out? Well, that's easy. Top 10 games of 2016. But there's a lot more that are coming out than that. I'll tell you the top 10s that are coming out so that the other reviewers can see it and get theirs out before us. Is there a top 10 list tomorrow? There is not. But then we got top 10 games of 2016, top 10 expansions of 2016, top 10 epic games of 2016, 10 other great games from 2016, Jason's list of 2016, top 10 family games of 2016, surprises of 2016, party games of 2016, innovative games of 2016, gaming experiences of 2016, small games of 2016, kids games of 2016, distinctive themes of 2016, and maybe more. I'm going top 10 list crazy. All right. We have Board Game Geek, Video Game Geek. Do you ever think or hope for a book/TV/movie geek? You know what? I used to. I no longer care. Video Game Geek was just a dud, honestly. I go there and I look for my favorite games, like Civilization or whatever it is. No one's talking about them. There's no discussion there. It was a cool idea, just didn't take off. I don't see that the book one or any other ones would take off. So I would just say Board Game Geek should stick with what they do best, and that's Board Game Geek. It's really cold up there in Minnesota, 6 degrees. I'm very sorry for that. Let's see what it is here in Homestead. Oh, it's 83. Eesh. A little warm, huh? Dice Cups versus Dice Towers. I like them both. Dice Cups are cool. Have a couple friends set who always like to play Apples to Apples. We would rather do Pandemic. Any suggestion for a compromise game? You mean halfway between Apples to Apples and Pandemic? There is a lot. There's so many fun games. I would just try. I mean, if they don't like Pandemic, say, hey, let's try Stone Age, try Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne. I would just go through the gateway games list, really. Hey, Tom, I hope the cruise went great. What's up with Caravan? I haven't heard much about it for several months. Well, that's because there's changes and stuff being made. The announcements will be made about it, I would imagine, in January. Actually, I feel pretty strongly in January. You'll hear announcements about it. Do you feel it's hard to hold your tongue or be fully honest being so much in the public eye? How careful do you feel like you need to be saying things? I try to be careful what I say in public because you should be. You should think about what you're saying in public. I try to be honest, but at the same time, be wise in the things I say. I don't always succeed. I've said stupid things publicly before. And it's hard. I mean, even here on a live Q&A off the cuff, I have to think very carefully, what am I saying? And so my mind is thinking at the same time my words are saying, is that okay to say publicly? It's just something you got to think about, I guess. Have you finished your Christmas shopping, or are you last minute like myself? I've not finished it, but I have a lot of it done. It's very difficult with 6 children who all want different things. 7 children, sorry. So I got 6 Christmas lists, and I went through and I ordered stuff from Amazon because that's great, and much of it has shown up. And then my wife said, what did you get for Jimmy? And I was like, oh yeah, he didn't give me a Christmas list because he's 2. However, that does make him the easiest one to shop for, so that's good. And unfortunately, I don't buy many gifts for other people. I just don't, because 7 people and I'm not made out of money. Although I think we're signing like 90 cards today. Um, I was told I seem like a blue player when discussing Magic the Gathering. Should I be offended? No, just means you're deceitful. What is your best and worst food experience on the cruise? If by worst you mean wasn't as good as the rest, I didn't have one. I liked all the food I ate, all of it. As for best, just every meal. I tried to eat with someone different each night. I ate with my wife each night, except the last night I wasn't able to eat with her because the kids wanted to go do something else. But I ate with my wife, and then we'd invite other people to join us. And I asked different people to join us each time. So we had a good time just spreading out and meeting as many different people as possible. And even then, I didn't eat with everybody or meet everybody, but I tried. Just like gaming, I tried not to game with people twice, although it happened, because I wanted to play with as many different people as possible. A recent thread on Board Game Geek discusses the videos that have been deleted from the Dice Tower over the years. Any chance you'd comment on what the criteria for removal of a video is? Sure. When I want to remove a video, I do, because they're my videos. That's really what it is. I deleted the thread in our guild that was talking about it because personal attacks started being made, and there was enough of a fight brewing that rather than go and delete each one, I deleted the whole thread because the whole thread was kind of like, why did the Dice Tower delete these things? Discuss. It was a very antagonistic type thread, so I just deleted it. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep our forums as pleasant as I possibly can be. My firstborn's name is Harmony. When you named your firstborn Melody, did people constantly suggest Harmony as a name for your second? No, not really. Harmony is not a very common name, so a lot of people don't even think of it as a name, I think. Is the Dice Tower having a Christmas party? We'll see. Favorite movie? My favorite movie is Lord of the Rings trilogy. I consider that to be one movie. Once your videos are successfully uploaded to YouTube, do you keep backup copies on a hard drive in the cloud? I keep a backup of many of them. I don't believe I have all of them, but I have a lot of them. If you care at all about unique fonts, what are some of your favorites? Well, Grow Bold, it's a free font, and you'll notice I use it all the time in our shows. It's my favorite font. Would you be interested in skydiving giving it a chance? Probably not. Do you watch every video posted on your site? I do not. What do I think of Chick-fil-A? It's good. I'm not a huge chicken sandwich guy, but I like Chick-fil-A. I like their waffle fries. And they make these little chicken bite things. I eat there like once a year, maybe. Hammocks, restful or uncomfortable? They feel like they're uncomfortable. iRobot or Ender's Game? They're both good, but I like Ender's Game better. What are your thoughts on the weird and quirky rules in some of the cards in Deadpool Legendary? Well, I'm reviewing that in a couple weeks. I can tell you when I'm reviewing that. Deadpool. Where is it? My review of Deadpool is going up December 30th. That seems like a while away, but I had to schedule this whole month out because there's just so much stuff coming out. As a fellow X-Men fan, do you share my dislike for the secondary nasty mutations for the Beast? I do. I feel like the Marvel Universe does not know what to do with the Beast. I really liked him. I liked the blue furball type thing. I liked that he was trying. I didn't even mind when he got a little dark for a while, but I don't know, he's just jumping from team to team. Now he's with the Inhumans? What? Why do you like the Onitama over the Duke? Simplicity. Simplicity sometimes beats complexity. In this case, it does. However, I think they're both fantastic games. DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, or Rescue Rangers. All three are fantastic, but easily DuckTales. And that's because of one character, Launchpad. Now, I know, granted, he's in Darkwing Duck too, but he was in DuckTales first. Launchpad is amazing, and the DuckTales, I love DuckTales. Now, granted, I saw DuckTales first, so maybe it stuck with me. Also, DuckTales has the coolest theme song. Tailspin is good too. In fact, I would say these are the order of my favorites. I like DuckTales, Tailspin, then Rescue Rangers and Darkwing Duck are probably tied for me. But I really like Tailspin. Love the theme song for that one too. Have you ever heard Pentatonic's a cappella music? Well, this hasn't the world for most part. I really am enjoying a lot of their Christmas music these days. Who are your top 5 board game personalities outside the main Dice Tower crew? You mean of my competitors? You trying to make me list them? I won't. But like I say, I mean, I really like Joel. Joel is very thoughtful and concise in what he says. Does a good job. Efka is hilarious. John Gets Games is very concise and clear. I like him too. Silly John from England, and I forget his name. He just put up a video today everyone's raving about, but I had not seen it yet. Shut Up and Sit Down. They do a lot of humor in theirs. Rado, very earnest in his. Rodney, of course, is the master of all. So yeah, there's a lot of great people out there. I'm not going to make a top 5 though. Are you a tenor or a bass? You know, I'm probably swing closer to a baritone. At my church, they have me in bass. I used to be in tenor. The problem with tenor is I have a hard time hitting an F or higher. Even a sustained E can take me out. And technically, as a tenor, you're supposed to sing much higher than that. But as a bass, I have a hard time going below an A. So, unless, of course, I have a cold, in which case, bring it on. But I'm more of a baritone, kind of in the middle. But I know how to sing both parts, I guess. Which do I prefer? Depends on the song. I asked a while back about possibly meeting you at Gamma. You said it might be possible. You suggested trying MeepleCon. I purchased tickets. Are you still going? We are currently planning to go to MeepleCon. I talked to one of the people who runs MeepleCon at Board Game Geek, and that is still set up. So unless something majorly changes, I will be at MeepleCon, as will some other people from the Dice Tower. And that's all I'm going to say for now. But you might be surprised at who else might be there. Okay, so we're finally to the yes or no's, and it is split. What do you think about the Gates of Loyang? You did not have a review of this older game. Well, I probably didn't play enough to a full review. I only played it once, and I did not like it. I did not like it. I mean, I was like, man, I really hate this. Why have you not reviewed Sid Meier's Civilization? Because I never got a copy of it. It was one of those things that kind of, I know it came out when I was moving to America or in that very close vicinity, and I was just kind of moving my games and didn't get as many reviews then in that time frame. So just got lost in the shuffle, and I haven't got it since then. So now it's like 5-6 years old, so there's no point. I've played it a couple times, and I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought it was okay. So that's my review. Why don't you do written reviews anymore? I personally prefer reading reviews rather than watching them, as reading seems more informative, but videos are more entertaining because I like to do videos more than writing. I really do. And I would argue that I'm a better speaker than I am a writer. Now, granted, you are probably sitting there going, Vasel, you are not a good speaker. I didn't say I was a good speaker. I said that I'm a better speaker than I am a writer. When I would write my reviews and then my wife would edit them and they were fine, I go back and I read them and I'm like, wow, it's there and there's some enthusiasm, but it's kind of a very light style. It's not funny. It just talks about the game. I don't know. I really like doing video reviews, so that's going to happen. I know if you prefer written reviews, that's fine, but there's other people who do the written reviews. Excuse me. Have you ever seen the 80s movies They Live? I've only seen parts of it, but I'm all out of bubblegum. Are you immune to board game nostalgia, as in the pool of, oh, I remember how much fun I had playing that game as a kid, even though I now see it's not that great? Oh, I'm not immune to that. I'll still look at games like, for example, Fireball Island, like, whoa, that's really cool. It's not that good of a game. But every once in a while I get a chance to see these really fun, cool games, and they're fun to play, but you've given me an idea, though. How tall are you, Z, Sam, and Jason, and Rob? Well, Jason's like 3'6". No, not really. But I am 6'4". I'm taller than the rest of them. But that's that. If Pinocchio said, my nose will grow because of this statement, what would happen? The aliens would release him because they wouldn't know what to do. What's the reason for disliking Star Wars Destiny as you have more play? Something doesn't jive? It's just feeling super lucky. It just feels like, ooh, that's cool and all, but I'm rolling dice, and I don't know. I want to feel like when I'm done with a battle, it was because I don't know. And like I said, don't take that to the bank yet. I want to play it some more times. Maybe it will change my mind. Maybe I need to stop playing Jason at it. But I don't know. Not to get too deep, but what do you think draws people to board games fundamentally, as games have existed in some form since the beginning of civilization? It's interacting with other people, I think. Have you or would you buy any stock in Cool Mini or Not since they joined the Hong Kong Stock Exchange? No, briefly I thought, huh. And then I was like, no. Dice Tower does not need to own stock in any board games companies. No. Is my favorite news feed broken, or is this week a week in review missing? Well, it's definitely missing because we reviewed no new games last week. So therefore, a week in review would basically me be going, we've reviewed no games last week, thank you. And then we would end it. There will be one next week. Does Battlelore need more expansions? I don't think it needs more expansions. I like to have more expansions for it, but it has 3 full armies, and that's pretty fun. However, when people say Fantasy Flight is killing off Battlelore, it does look that way, right? This is the problem with Fantasy Flight being so closed-mouthed, is they won't say they're killing off a game. Well, sometimes they do. They're like, we finished the LCG. I think they did that with Warhammer. But they don't. They just stop making it. And eventually you're like, I guess they're not making any more. It would just be good for us to know. Fantasy Flight, tell us. Tell us. Ripping the Band-Aid off. Don't, like, eventually like, oh, well, 3 years later, I guess it's like Disc Wars. We're like, where's more Disc Wars stuff? It never came, it never came, it never came. Then finally they announced that they were splitting from Games Workshop. We're like, well, I guess that's it for Disc Wars. But you could have told us, right? You could have told us you were not going to make any more. I guess they don't do it because then they won't sell any more copies of the base game, blah, blah, blah. Can we get a look at that Duel of Ages compendium? Yeah, sure. Duel of Ages Codex. On the back is like the sheet that tells you everything about the game. So the first several pages are rules of the game, the master rules, which they decided not to put in the box for whatever reason. I printed mine out myself. So that's the first 28 pages. Then there's some clarifications. They got to build an FAQ here, which is several. Then there's things about how to pick characters for the game, which puts way too much emphasis on the strategy. I just pick characters that sound fun. I really don't care how to build a map properly. Just make a fun map. I could have simplified this. Then things that people say about Duel of Ages that aren't true, and basically different parts of the games, and just a lot of strategy, lots and lots of strategy. More strategy, how to teach the game. All right, so that's the first half of the book. Second half is the characters. And this goes through each character. Some characters apparently rate a whole page. Others only get half a page. And it tells you basically how to use that character, what they're good at, what they're bad at. To me, it seems like most of this stuff seems pretty obvious. When you use a character, you're like, oh, this character's strong. I should have him fight things. But whatever. It's still kind of cool, and I do like looking at the pictures of artwork. So it's a fun book to read. But that goes all the way to the end, and that's it. That's the whole thing. Question, I really like the YouTube channel. All the games you like are bad. Have you seen his reviews? I have. I've seen some of them anyway. He's very, very thoughtful. I'm not sure I like the name of the game. Like all the games you like are bad seems very provocative, but I'm sure that's just what it is. It's the same reason we make provocative top 10 list names. If the Dice Tower was a political party, what would be your slogan? We tell it as it is. That would be our slogan. Have you watched the series Psych? I have, and that's actually another one that I don't watch because I don't like the main character. He's too much of a... If he was someone I knew, I think I wouldn't like him. He's always right, you know what I mean? He's that kind of guy who's always right, and they know they're always right. Are you back from the cruise? Well, this would be an amazing thing to have on a cruise ship, but no. It's not on the cruise ship, and yes, we are back from the cruise. We got back yesterday morning. Is it wrong to make an add-on promo that is clearly intended for a game that already exists? I don't understand that question, actually. You seem to be not such a big fan of Star Realms or Hero Realms. No, I like Star Realms. I don't dislike them. I think they're fine. I mean, I don't love them as much as other people do. Like Sam loves them more than I do. But I haven't played Hero Realms. But I'm assuming it's a fine game. I like Star Realms. Do you ever look at a game and just know it's going to be work to play it and review it? Oh, yeah. There's some games I look at like, especially when it says on a box I'm like 3 to 4 hours. I'm like, it's going to be so long each play of it. Favorite comedian? His name has slipped my mind. Jim Gaffigan. Sorry, that's what it is. Jim Gaffigan. I love him. Half his comedy is about food, so I tend to really like that stuff. Also, he's a big family, so I kind of know what he's talking about there. But he's easily my favorite. I think Henry Cho is I also like him a lot, but Jim Gaffigan for sure. Best part of the Dice Tower cruise? Just meeting people and talking to people, for sure. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed talking to people at dinner, at games, walking around the ship talking to people. Just really enjoyed that. I liked just leaving the gaming room and walking around. I watched some of the shows. I went and watched a belly flop competition, which some listeners tried to talk me into participating in when I explained that I refused. But just I had a lot of fun overall. It was fun to walk throughout the ship and see people be like, hey, because everyone at Dice Tower had a red lanyard. We didn't do this on purpose, although we will in future years. But no one else had a red lanyard, so when you saw someone with a red lanyard, you knew they were part of the Dice Tower crew. So you'd be like, hey, that was pretty cool. Some people are asking questions that other people have asked. I guess they figure that if I didn't answer one person, so I'll get another. Goodreads is for books, what BG is for board games. Yeah, I've been to Goodreads before to read a lot of reviews. There's a lot of reviews there if you want to read them. You have the Dice Tower channel, Dice Tower Con, and Dice Tower Cruise. What's my pipe dream? Dice Tower what? Oh, man. I don't even know at this point. Dice Tower headquarters is probably my dream at this point. Tom, my girlfriend and I argue over the randomness of the Dice Tower. She feels that rolling by the hand is more random. Do you agree? No. How would rolling by the hand be more random? In fact, some people can kind of make the die go a certain way. In the Dice Tower, it's going to come out a way you cannot control. So definitely the Dice Tower is more random. I'm getting Twilight Struggle tomorrow. When you get a new game, do you like to look at the cards first or be surprised in your first play? I like to be surprised in my first play. I really do. I try not to look at the cards because I think it's fun to find out the story as you go along. However, if you're playing someone who has not played Twilight Struggle before, you can do that if you both haven't played. But if you're playing someone who has played before, definitely read those cards so you know what's coming. Or they'll destroy you. Which of the first 3 games on Restoration Game Slate are you most excited about? I don't know. Indulgences, maybe? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to yawn. Well, it's 3:56. No phone call. I tell you. All right. When does the next fundraiser start? My goal is January 2nd, but it might be a couple days, give or take. We'll wait and see. I'll let you know soon. How did Jimmy do in the cruise? We did not buy tickets because we were afraid it would not work with our 2-year-old. Oh, he loved the water area. He would have stayed there all day. He liked the shower of all things. He liked sitting on the balcony with me a lot. Him and me would go out and just sit on that balcony and watch the water go by. But I mean, between me and my wife, and we also have older kids watching him and stuff. I mean, it certainly is a handful to take a 2-year-old on a cruise. Definitely a handful. So that's up to you to decide whether to do that or not. But we did not have money problems. Oh, I'm yawning twice. I'm very sorry, folks. I think some places it's considered super rude to yawn in public. I'm trying not to. What level of disruption for our hobby should we expect if a trade war with China breaks out? I don't know. I don't worry about those things until they happen. Cheez-Its or goldfish? All depends what mood I'm in that day, honestly. I like both of them a lot. So I could take it. Maybe Cheez-Its are a little better. Maybe. But I can eat more goldfish at a time than I could eat Cheez-Its. Should you mix heroes and villains in Dice Masters? Yeah, I don't see why not. How'd you like Doctor Strange the movie? I really enjoyed it. I thought it was one of the best Marvel movies. Sure, but one of the best Marvel movies at this point is like saying all the Marvel movies are great. I really like all of them. I mean, some I like less than others, like Iron Man 3 I didn't like as much as some of the rest, but I still liked Iron Man 3. Thor 2 I didn't like as much as the rest, but I still liked Thor 2. I think that all 3 Captain Americas I really like. Ant-Man I really like. Doctor Strange I really like. Guardians of the Galaxy I loved. Both Avengers, I was about to say all 3. I keep forgetting Captain America's not an Avengers movie. Both of those were really good. It's just been a really, really fun time to watch all these. How many years until you hire an HR guy? That's probably a long time away. An HR guy. I don't think you buy an HR guy for 4 people. Would you consider Sushi Go to be a lunchtime game? I feel like you haven't watched my top 10 lunchtime games this Monday. Today's the Feast of St. Lucy in Sweden. Do you celebrate that too? I don't. I don't know what it is, actually. My apologies. Am I a coffee drinker? No, I am not. I do not like coffee. Will there be salad today? Yes. There was salad for lunch. There will be salad for dinner. It is what it is. I got to be good now after that cruise. Cruise was not kind. It is time to get back on track until Christmas Day, in which case I'll eat what I want. Ooh, this guy says if I subscribe to him, I can get 100,000. Oh, wait. Someone blocked him. Maybe that was me. Well, that's that. It's about time to end here. So it is 4 o'clock. I'm going to have to call these guys soon and say, you didn't show up at 4 like you said. You liars. They haven't shown up, have they? No. All right. Okay, well, folks, I appreciate that. There's a couple more videos coming tonight, actually. I'll tell you what's coming tonight. I'm trying a new thing. I'm calling it Tom Vasel's Boring Unboxing Videos, where I open up boxes throughout the week on video. I think it's a dumb idea, but people have been asking for it, so I put it together. Please comment on whether you like it or not when you see that. So that's going up tonight, and I think it's going up around 6. It's only a couple hours from now. No, it's 7. And then one of our old Dice Tower shows, episode 20, is going up. So that is that. So until next time, thanks for watching the Q&A. I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been the Dice Tower. Still no call. Christmas cards. Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes it easier to do them. Thank you. Some people are saying they want a hand-signed card. You can get a card from the Dice Tower. It's one of our levels of pledging each year. So several people, 98 of them actually, signed up for that. So there is a lot. Oh, I'm doing this with love. I don't know who's getting that one.